Oh, hello.
Oh,
Oh,
hi.
hi there.
Hello.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Welcome in. Hi, partners, and welcome into Just Gaming Tingz Podcast.
Ah! We got a full yeehaw.
Aw.
Yeehaw!
Oh, God, I hate it. Welcome to Just Gaming Tingz.
We're clowning, so you know it's Just Gaming Tingz Podcast.
Welcome to the clowning portion of the podcast.
Which comes
to the
before the
clowning
intro
portion.
now.
Right. It's the most important part of the podcast. It comes even before the intro.
Yeah.
But yeah, y'all might see some new faces. Ooh, we
If
got
you're
new
watching the video
co-hosts.
version, I guess.
You may hear new voices.
Hear new voices.
I'm just clowning. Y'all
But
know
yeah,
what I mean.
we have new co-hosts, and we're so excited to announce that Lotus, Pants, Dex, and Ruin will be joining us as part of our Just Gaming teams.
Yay! I shake my titties in solidarity.
I'm gonna get my t-shirt
I shake my
going.
Bepis.
Don't
Now that's
shake
an
it,
honor.
it's gonna explode all over the place.
Oh, no.
Carbonation.
Bepis.
Unless you want it to explode.
I know.
Anyway.
I guess I kind of need a shower. It's been a quarantine.
We should introduce ourselves.
Good. Who are we? I'm Spin. And here with me, I have Lotus.
Hello.
Hi, Lotus.
Wait, do I do an intro, or do I just say hi?
You can do a short little intro if you want. You can just say hi. You can do whatever you want.
Okay, I'm a big old lesbian. I like indie games, and I hate the gaming industry. I can't wait to share that information with you all.
Love
We're
that.
so happy to get all your spicy opinions. We have Pants featuring Bepis.
Special
Featuring
guest
Bepis
Bepis.
on the titties. Hello, my name is Pants. You can also call me Mel. I'm very chaotic, a variety streamer, and a VTuber. And eventually, I will be showing my feats, my VTuber feats. As we've talked about before.
Yes.
we sure did talk about that, huh? That's
We did.
For the VP reveal.
Exactly.
oh, we love to see it. Hi,
Oh my
I'm
God.
Ruby. I'm also known as Project Ruby on most platforms, and I'm a variety clown. Really, I'm just very chaotic and very queer, and I do all the things, and I'm super excited for this episode because we also have a special guest joining us. Hi,
Yes.
Smalzsy.
Hi, friends. Hello, I'm Smalzsy.
Smalzsy.
I'm a part-time streamer. I'm a full-time dwarf, and I can never decide on what game to play. So love that. I'm a variety streamer here on Twitch, and I am also available for hire if you need a clown at events / parties. So call me. I'm coming to you live from my Airbnb that I'm not actually in, but just pretend we are. Just pretend this is real. Okay.
Love that. Love that. Well, here we are, y'all, with some Just
Well.
Gaming Tingz clownery, shenanigans, but you'll love it, because we're on episode 35, and clearly some of y'all have been with us for a while now, so thank you for that, by the way. Please do follow us on Just Gaming Tingz everywhere, on Twitter, well, you have to look us up on YouTube and Spotify and all that, but you'll find us. You just have to look it up, because there's no, like, fancy URL, but, one day, manifesting, But we
We're
do
out
have
there.
a spicy little story to talk about, huh?
Pants, do you want to get us started?
We do.
Oh my god,
proceed.
yes. So let's talk about it because Capcom is going under fire again because lately an artist, there is a designer named Judy A. Jurasek, I think is how you say their name.
Listen, half
But
of our
basically-
podcast is not knowing how to pronounce names. You're gonna be fine.
Right. What are names, honestly?
What are letters?
Exactly. So she's basically saying that supposedly, allegedly, that Capcom is using her photos in a lot of games like Resident Evil 4, Devil May Cry, probably other Resident Evils, probably most of the Resident Evils, let's be real here. Because they're basically using like a lot of her photographs as either like there's texture photographs and stuff, so probably using that in like a lot of their elements, or even just like taking like maybe a sculpture that she's photographed before and like adding that into like their, their books or anything, like elements in the game and such, which is very interesting. Because they were just under fire again earlier because Resident Evil Village might have been taking some monster designs too from a little indie film named Frankenstein.
Nobody heard of it.
Nobody's heard of it. Exactly. But yeah, it's very interesting for sure. So they are dealing with a lawsuit right now because of this. So I wanted to bring that up. And what do you all think about this?
Oh, well, I'm gonna kick us off because I don't have many really complex thoughts on this, rather than just like why, like when you're a studio slash publisher that has a lot of resources, why wouldn't you just pay artists to come up with original content, or even pay artists to be like, hey, I want to, like, that thing that you did was really cool, can I pay you and include that in our game and give you a shout out in the credits? Like, I don't know why that's such a like a wild concept. I remember Naughty Dog was also kind of doing that as well with Uncharted and all that. So it's like, why can't we just pay people to do, like, to feature their work? Like, why is it so easy for indies to do it, and for like even like people as like independent content creators, and they do that stuff where they're like, oh, like a viewer made me this art, let me credit them and like pay them potentially for it, and then like a huge ass studio is like, no, that's definitely not the art that you're talking about, it's just coincidental. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't see it. I don't see it for me. It's like, why? To me, that's just, yeah. I just don't get it. I don't get why they do it.
Yeah, like I honestly don't know how they're gonna try to play it off like this isn't plagiarism, because like looking at the comparison photos, like there's like this very specific broken glass texture that they used, and like it lines up exactly with the Resident Evil 4 logo, and then there's like other textures and like and like art from these images that is like all the textures are exactly the same, and it's like, how are you going to try to say that you didn't steal her art? Like, how are you going to try to say that you didn't use her photographs? Like, because it you can literally like put it on top of the photograph and it lines up perfectly.
Right.
Yeah. And it's so wild to see this, because like you kind of expect like messiness on, like, you expect it kind of like from independent artists, like seeing like, oh, this person traced this art, like, ooh, but you see it more often than not from like big corporations that have the funding to actually pay artists.
Yeah.
And you're just like, why don't you just pay the artist? I don't know.
We just fade into oblivion. I don't know. Why?
But yeah. Lotus, what were your thoughts?
Arguably the spiciest, I mean. Because, okay, so it's already concerning. Just to reiterate that the two main games that the article is accusing plagiarism of are Resident Evil 4 and Devil May Cry 1, which each of those came out, I think, over 10 years ago at this point. And, like, obviously we can't show you the pictures, but the comparison is really, really stark. It's not the first time this has happened. Like Pants said, it's not even the first time it happened this year. And
Right.
like the previous thing was there's a monster in the film Frankenstein's Army, which has a propeller on its head. Like it looks like part of a jet engine has been like crafted onto a human being's head. And there's a very similar monster in Resident Evil Village. And that's pretty egregious because, you know, if it was like a land shark or just a regular green, you know, bolts in the neck Frankenstein monster, that's just saying like, okay, we're all drawing inspiration from the same place. It makes sense to arrive at very similar things. I watched a lot of horror in my life, and Propeller Head is not really one of the classics. So it feels pretty egregious, particularly with Resident Evil 7, which I'm not saying didn't have any original ideas whatsoever. That's not the words I'm saying, but I am saying that the first third of the game is basically just the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The middle section is just Blair Witch, and then the last section is just the first-person shooter horror game Fear, complete with spooky little psychic girl with long black hair. I'm just saying they're too similar, and Capcom's, well, particularly Resident Evil's kind of thing is like B-movie schlock. So I feel like part of the reason they've been able to get away with it so specifically for long, outside of extremely specific copyright lawsuits like these ones, is because it's like, oh, it's a parody. We're making fun. We're making fun of horror as a genre. We're doing our own thing. He has a rocket launcher. It's like a flu that turns you into zombies. Whoa. And it is weird to see this suddenly. Now people are like, wait a second. Hang on, these are way too close. After seeing the examples, I don't know. I wish that artists the best of luck, because I mean, if there's one thing that we know, it's that the law does not really favor the independent artist. So I don't know how it's gonna go, but hopefully it goes well for her, at least in the long run.
Yeah. And if you're watching the video version, I did indeed show the receipts from the article. I did seductively scroll through the article. So love that. But yeah, what do you think, Smalzsy?
I mean, if you're watching the visual, you just saw those images, and come on. I mean, they're not trying to be different. Like, they've slapped a new coat of paint on a few of these things and put some of the images into, like, other contextual areas. But, like, they are the same thing. And the thing that, like, I'm, like, in reading this article, like, she has, this artist has gone and, like, collated like all of these photographs and gone to the effort to like put these out there for people to use as visual research. So these are there for people to use to sort of, you know, study things. So to have them completely ripped, like, and it's not just one or two, like she's got 80 photographs here, like across like Capcom games that are like pretty much direct copies. So it's like, it's not like they like have just accidentally like maybe kind of copied something from her visual research like files. They've just taken this and they're like, you know what, hopefully she's not gonna see it and then we'll be fine, right? Like it just feels just like they really just thought they wouldn't get caught out. And I you know, I hope that her what's the word, copyright infringement stuff
the lawsuit,
because I hope the bestie gets what she's owed for this, because it's not fair. Like it's just
Ugh. I just kind of cackle at the idea as well of like the response that they gave to the article from Capcom was, we are aware of the lawsuit.
no further comments. Literally, so it's like, so
I think it like ran across someone's desk somewhere, but we didn't read it.
They're like, do I have anything to say about it? Absolutely not, but we did see it. It's like, well, I'm glad you're aware that it's happening, because it's happening, so I'm glad you know it's happening.
Like, love you, Capcom, but like you have the money. And I guess this kind of slightly off topic, but it does kind of bring up the whole thing of like a lot of AAA studios, especially gaming, will always have like those contests, like art contests and everything. And I feel like they treat art just like, oh, like everybody would love to have their art in our game, like kind of
Right.
thing. So that's why they're always like, here's this contest, give us the free art. And technically, we kind of like own those,
Right.
the art no matter what, if you win or not.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
kind
Hate
of,
that so much.
yeah, I feel like, I don't know. I feel it's always like bigger art studios, like we talked about indies and stuff, and you would maybe think like, oh, because they're like smaller, you would think so that they would like get away. But like a lot of them try so hard to like make their original content. If they are using like music, it's going to be like royalty free or anything, or they're getting composers and stuff. Like they go all out. So it's like, how is like indie games going to be like doing everything right? And then like all these AAA studios, like they could just like basically just trample on like all the artists and just get away with it.
Right.
It's what
Food for
happens
thought.
when your
Artists.
industry. Oh yes, pay artists. It's what happens when your
artists.
industry considers artists disposable. Because they do. Like, I mean, even something that's only technically tangentially related to the gaming industry, like animation. If you look up what animation artists actually get paid, it's like less than a livable wage. Especially in places like Japan and Korea, it's just like these big houses that are meant to churn things out, and then you have AAA studios who outsource modeling and things to. I think Malaysia is the big country that's getting all the 3D model and animation outsourcing now, and it's just like the worst. Always have to overtime, get paid peanuts, like it sucks. So
Yeah.
hopefully this can smack some sense into Capcom, and hopefully everybody else, fingers crossed,
Right.
Hope
Yeah.
so. Hope
Like
so.
that's the idea of us talking about it too, and there's been kind of a conversation as we're doing this live on Twitch in our chat about as well, of like us being fans of these like studios or the games that they make, not necessarily the studios clearly, but the games that they make. But there's also room for criticism there, and there's also room for us to talk about and to have these discussions, because just like with everything, with whatever you want to talk about, whatever you're passionate about, criticizing it is not hating on it at all. It's wanting it to be better because you care about it. So that's why we talk about these gaming issues often, is because we do care a lot about gaming and we love gaming, and we just want the industry to do better, really. Um, which is not the case in this next story. Let me tell you, because ooh, girl. So apparently, the creator of Balan Wonderworld, Yuji Naka, is no longer working with Square Enix. So what happened was Square Enix published a game called Balan Wonderworld, and they heavily marketed it as a game that was basically a love child between the creator of Sonic and the creator of Knights. And it was like, wow, this is going to be like basically like a sequel to all of those games that you loved in your childhood. And the game kind of didn't do great critically or commercially. So there are reports that unfortunately he is no longer working with Square Enix. Apparently he broke the news on his own Facebook, which got confirmed by IGN. There isn't really, apparently there's no confirmed thing as to like why why he's no longer working with them, if it was because of a bad Metacritic score, or if it was because he just didn't want to work with them anymore because they wanted to separate or whatever. But yeah, it just doesn't look great that you bring over someone that has a history with iconic games in the industry, and then be like, yeah, we trust you, we believe in your vision, let's do it, and then the game doesn't do well, and then suddenly it's like, bye. We don't want you anymore. If that's the case, right? None of this is really confirmed. The only thing that we know is that he is no longer working with Square Enix, so we don't know what happened, we don't know what was the reason or anything of the sort, but it definitely makes you think. Definitely makes you think. It's not the first time that people get fired over a bad Metacritic score. It's not the first time that people get laid off, and that the result of the commercial or critical success of a game is oftentimes correlated to someone no longer working at a company. So it's definitely not news in the industry at all. But yeah, what do y'all think? What do y'all think of this situation? Square Enix, why? Tell us.
Yeah, like we we don't know if he left of his own accord or not. We don't know if it was specifically related to Balan or not. But like it's too much of a coincidence for it not to be related to Balan kind of flopping. I feel like something, this is pure speculation. I feel like something had happened behind the scenes. Like there's some kind of drama that we don't know that might come out later to explain. What did you want to say, Lotus? Because
no, I just completely agree that there has to be some kind of behind the scenes thing, because Square Enix is probably known for making some of the most popular games and franchises, like period, full stop. Which means that you often forget that Square Enix probably should be known as one of the worst managerial overheads in gaming that there is. Like, every single project you hear about is always fraught with issues. Final Fantasy VII Remake, every Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy 15, Final Fantasy 14. And it just seems... Obviously, I don't work there. Again, speculation, allegedly. But if you're someone who is very much like not given the kind of respect that Anomura has, then I could imagine that if you're doing like this kind of weird off the beaten path game, how much respect you get at Square Enix, especially, if you're kind of like the old guard with Sonic Adventure, which also isn't, even though it's very well regarded by fans critically, not so much. So I do wonder if he really did just say, I don't want to work here anymore. My experience on Balan Wonderland was bad, and I'm leaving. Bye. I'm gonna go back to my own studio. That's what I'm very curious about. Maybe it's not necessarily Square Enix drawing a hard line, but like, what is their work culture like if you're someone who's in a very creative position like that?
Yeah, it definitely, even from the end result of the game, it also looks like the development of the game was troubled, because I did get a key from Square Enix to stream the game, and I liked it personally, but I also could understand a lot of the criticisms that people had with it. Like, it could have been better. Like, that was my main takeaway. It's like, it's a cute concept. I really enjoy it. It's an enjoyable experience, but it definitely could be better. So if there's a thing behind the scenes of like, oh, your game flopped kind of thing, like, no, maybe give them more time to develop it, or maybe I don't know, maybe have better organization in the team, or maybe, I don't know. We don't know obviously what happened. We are only speculating, and we're only speaking from our own beliefs from the outside, which obviously, there's a lot we don't know, but yeah, I honestly wish better for it. I thought it was kind of funny though that like, a friend of mine was telling me about this, and actually Dex, one of our co-hosts, and he was telling me that there was like someone who reviewed the game poorly, and they were like, oh my god, I know I gave it a bad score, but I wasn't expecting this to be an outcome or whatever. But it's like, I feel like sometimes reviewers / content creators are so quick to just shit on a game and to just like make a meme out of something or make an example out of something for the content of it all. And they forget that there's actual people working for those companies. And if you're going to make this game like look like an embarrassment or a flop or like this huge thing that Square Enix should regret, then like, yeah, you kind of should feel guilty for people like getting fired and people like suffering from the consequences of it, because, or even quitting, right? Because he could have been like, oh my god, like this is an embarrassment, I need to go. Like, yeah, like think about the consequences of your actions too. Like, if you're in the industry, it doesn't give you the right to just shit on a game or shit on like someone's livelihood and work. Because like, he joined in 2018. This game came out did it come out this year or last year? Time.
This year.
This
I
year.
think it came out like February or March, right?
Really?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
my
wow.
I have zero perception of time, so I believe you. So yeah, I mean they didn't even work on this game for that long, to be honest. He joined in 2018, so like they could have had more time to work on it for sure. But we also don't know how much of a how big the contract was. I don't know. We don't know how big of a team he had. Like we don't know anything, but it just kind of sucks overall because I kind of was rooting for it. I was like, yeah, this is, it reminds me of the Dreamcast days and like Sonic and like Knights and all that fun stuff, and it's just not cute at all to see this outcome.
Yeah, I'll say that I was very, very excited for it because I love Sonic. Sonic means the world to me. And I also love Knights a lot. And I played the demo, and my only thing is kind of comes down kind of to like a little bit of accessibility because I was getting like motion sick playing it. That's my only critique about it because I would have loved it. And, they were advertising it a lot too. And I feel like there was a lot of us who were really, really excited about it. But I think like really does come down to like I wish they probably had more time to flesh it out and everything because it was nice, but I kind of want more from it too. And the only thing was just like walking around and like kind of at least like the first level. I don't know about the rest of the levels, but like the world was kind of like unfurling like in the background, kind of giving like this fisheye effect. And I was like, all right, I can't deal with this too much because
Yeah.
it's just gonna make me more and more sick. So I don't know if that also, like, if other people felt that way too, and that also turned them off from like getting the game because it looks like I don't know about the US, but it says in the article they only sold 2,000 physical copies in Japan, which is like a ridiculously low number.
Yeah. Considering this game would
Yeah.
probably have done really well over there because it definitely is like fun and camp and like wacky, and I feel like if promoted maybe differently it could have done better. Also because I think you can't like just rely on nostalgia anymore. I think a lot of people like there's a lot of people who like didn't play any of the Sonic games before, or like they grew up at a time where Sonic games weren't critically acclaimed anymore, so they were like, oh, I'm not gonna get into that, no, like, ooh. So you can't just rely on nostalgia for that. But yeah, I do think that the fish eye effect kind of faded away as you went through the game. Like some levels didn't have that as much. And I remember kind of noticing that, like, I don't know if it was World 2 or 3, and I was like, oh, they don't have that effect anymore. So I wonder if they had it just for that level to create like certain like things with it or whatever. But yeah.
And I also just wonder because we were talking about like their advertisement and stuff, and if they went really kind of heavy because we don't know too much in Japan or anywhere, it was kind of just like a little bit of social media for my most part that I saw from their advertising. But I wonder like they have like the Square Enix cafes in Tokyo and Osaka. So I wondered, like, I was just doing a quick Google search. I don't know exactly, but I'm gonna guess that they probably didn't even do like some kind of collab that they always do for like most of their games, which is always like, hey, for like 2 weeks or something, they're gonna just have like the cafe as a themed for like whatever game that they're doing, or it could be like reruns or anything. Like maybe because it was close to near Replicant, but I don't think they were like hand in hand too much. So there could have been at least like a little time period where they could have like advertised that a little bit more, get people into the cafe, and maybe that would have also garnered some more interest in things because it's just like, hey, you're just like more promotion for it as well. So I don't
Right.
know. I feel like
Yeah.
partly it's like partly the promotion, partly like he definitely needed time, and I definitely wish him the best too, and I hope
Yeah.
that he just keeps making some more games.
Absolutely. Yeah. Any closing thoughts before we move on to our next story?
I never played the game. The only image or like consumption of that game was through Ruby, and like a couple YouTube videos that were obviously slated to make this game look like you know a journey, an experience. They were obviously like these videos were directed to make the game look clowny. So and so watching those and trying to take like critical aspects out of them and stuff, the game just felt like it just wasn't baked enough. It just needed a little bit more time and a little bit more like love, and that's so it's like, where did that fall through? Where did that what was lost? So it's like you don't know where what happened behind the scenes during development, and and I know when you're saying with the advertisement for it and stuff like that, I didn't really see much advertisement in the Aussie scene for it. Everything I saw for it was from US sources, so it was I definitely didn't see anything on our side, so I can't imagine it would have even really picked up here at all. At all. It would be interesting to see those numbers, but yeah, listen, the game was probably good, but maybe it just needed a little bit more. And I feel for the creator, because you don't know what's happened behind the scenes, but I mean, it looks like he's had a good run with things in the past, so it's it just feels like something has gone wrong behind the scenes, and I hope that maybe he can come back somewhere else and do something great that we can enjoy and play in the future. Fingers crossed. I don't know. I hope and remain positive for this creator. And yeah, seems like a sucky straw to draw, but hey.
Right. Yeah. I mean, even as we were talking about marketing. Oh, sorry. No, you were just wrapping up.
Yeah, I was just
yeah. Even from, I guess, the marketing perspective, I remember a lot me being like, I'm gonna play this game, and a lot of people being like, oh, the game is out, or like, oh, this game we're doing a thing right now. So I don't know if Square Enix kind of was like, oh no, this is not gonna get received well, let's kind of just send it out to a few influencers. Let's just do the bare minimum as far as marketing, because this is gonna get ripped apart. Because sometimes the devs send out games early to for a pre-review for journalists and stuff like that before they even release a review, and they're like, hey, so they can hear feedback from the game, and they can be they get an idea of what the actual end review is going to be like. And so they probably had an idea that the game was not going to review well, but this could have been one of those cases where they could have shifted the marketing around to be camp, chaos, drama, and they could have been they could have gotten a decent user score, and then an okay review score, because they could have leaned into the fact that it's chaotic and it's camp and it's dramatic and all of that. But yeah, well, it is what it is. Should we move on to our next story?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and take this one. So
sounds cute.
when I was looking at news stories this week, I saw this, and I'm just like, oh boy, because every queer person knows, as soon as it hits June 1st, you're gonna see companies doing very tone deaf pride things.
Oh, happy Pride, by the way.
Happy Pride, gamers! Oh my god. Anyway, it's Pride. So that means every corporation is trying to get our gay money. And things that come to mind include last year's Twitch, the G stands for gamer thing.
I had to wipe that from my memory. Why did
I
you
forgot about
I know.
Never forget.
I'm so sorry. Oh my god. But, I seen one going around this year that's like a Budweiser ad with a rainbow beer bottle, and it's the LGBTQ let's get beers tonight queens.
I do love it though.
I'm I'd rather you just call me a slur.
I was gonna say that. I was I feel like I just got called a slur. Jesus.
Honestly.
Yeah, honestly, just call me a slur. So, in other news of tone deaf pride events,
Oh God.
Injustice 2 Mobile came under fire because for their pride event, they have you beat up Poison Ivy, who is like one of the few queer characters in the DC universe. Poison Ivy is bisexual. So, and okay, so the thing is, I get that it's a fighting game, you're gonna fight people, yes. But also, like, there are other things you could have done. You could have been like, oh, we'll give you, like, Poison Ivy and, like, Harley Quinn-themed items. Like, you can play as Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. Or, like, you can get, like, collectibles to, like, unlock these characters. Or, like, there had to have been something besides, hey, let's stick all of our players on this canonically, like, bisexual character that we have.
Right.
And they have this like tweet that's like, y'all have taken her down 175,000 times. Keep up the great work, heroes. It's like, oh
no.
It's so funny. It's so funny because it's like, defeat Poison Ivy 2,000 more times, and then literally at the end of the sentence it's like #pride. Like, like what?
Dear.
Just you can solve these problems by having a queer person in the room. Have a queer person in the room to tell you that this is a bad idea.
Literally.
Not even. There's just no level at which it makes sense, and the alternative is so, pun intended, straightforward. But basically, like, if a large selling point of Injustice 2 Mobile is that you have to have your free-to-play game, and then you encourage players to spend money because they want to play new characters, why is it not just Poison Ivy is free for everyone for a month, and the more people you beat, maybe the more points you get, maybe, you know, some special thing happens where a new skin is released, I don't know, it doesn't matter. But I think, and I hate this, but I think a lot of it is because a lot of homophobes or people who don't understand queerness have this thing where they think that you, like, become queer. Like, you weren't always queer and just didn't know. You, like, become queer. And so, like, why is this not more about Harley Quinn? Well, because in the Injustice 2 continuity, she's still involved with the Joker. So she's not actually bi, poly, pan, doesn't know she's a lesbian, like anything in that family, right? That's also why, for some reason, Wonder Woman, who is also bisexual, is not featured. I don't know if it's the same Green Lantern as the one that's in Injustice, but I know that there's a couple Green Lanterns who are gay, so he's not in there either. It's like, well, whenever Poison Ivy is seducing someone, like seducing a man, I should say, it's always like Black Widow style, like to get something from them. So it's like, oh, well, I guess we can do Poison Ivy. That's our only option that we really have. And it just doesn't, it feels bad.
The way that I, like, cried laughing when I saw the post because it's just so much. And it's just like, the more I think about it, the more I just have to, like, laugh. I was even, like, trying to, like, stifle myself now because I'm just, like, losing it again. Because it's just like, this is not what I expected for Pride. You know, I expect, like, the typical, like, here's, like, a little token that has, like, one pride flag, you know? Here's this for you, or, you know, it's always, like, really small things for the most part. Anyway, I did not expect to go into Pride and be like, let's beat up one of the queer characters.
Right.
Happy Pride. It really is the...
At least in, like, the DVD thing, like, here, you can have a rainbow flag on your character. Happy Pride.
Right. Like, I really was just like, that's the most that I always see in most games. And it's just like, here's like an icon or like the little token or something that you can put on your character. Not just Happy Pride, let's beat them up. It's like, oh my god. And then just like the immediate next post where they're just like, you know, they recognize that it was very just inappropriate. It's like, are you sure?
Oh.
Right. So I don't know. I don't know what was going on there at all. Who was there in this meeting? I have so many questions.
Right. The question is
And I wish
who wasn't there during that
who
meeting?
wasn't
Because
there?
That's it. Yeah.
Like I really wish I could be like a fly on the wall and just be like peeking in like what was going on down that meeting. That they're like, this is the best idea ever.
right.
All the queer
all the people that
folks.
saw this were like, no, they had an issue with this, and they put it out. I'm just like,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
wild. But I'm still waiting for Fortnite to like give me all of those queer skins or something. Like, just at least give us queer skins or just bring the characters. You know, I just need something anyway. If you want my money, it's easy. It is easy for me to get my money.
I'd love to bring up a quote that Mel said while we were playing Fortnite. I don't care about these other games, and when it comes to Fortnite, I could buy my diversity. Oh, it's the funniest thing.
It's also true.
It sure is.
Exactly. If I wanted to be a fish, I can be a fish. If I want to be queer, I can be queer. And everybody's gonna just be like, everybody's shooting each other. It does not matter.
Well.
Well, you could be. Well, the poison ivy pack is still there in in Fortnite, unlike Injustice too.
Oh my god. I just need gaming companies to take an actual stance though on Pride rather than just doing a thing where they're like, "Oh, happy Pride, here's our queer characters," and it's like the one queer character from each of their games and you're like, love that. Half of them died, but thanks for that. Just like didn't think of any specific examples, but the fact that it applies. Anyway, it's just like
cool story. I still can't say queer in your game without getting banned.
literally, or like you're still allowing homophobic names to exist in your creator username, or you're not moderating your voice chat or anything of the sort. You're not taking reports seriously, just things like that. I just wish that companies were just like unapologetically pro queer, and they were just like, like even like a situation where Epic Games would absolutely 100% piss off homophobes, but they would be like, we don't care. And they would just be like, here's like a huge like line of like queer pride related things, and I just want a company to also just be like, oh, we're selling this during Pride, but we're also not gonna take it out of our store rotation. You can still find it throughout the year, because that's one of the things that kind of pisses me off is like they expect all the queer people to just like run with their limp wrists and be like, oh my god, let me get all the rainbow things. And because we know that in the past it's like, if we don't get it during June, then it's gone. Like it doesn't even come back the next year. Like they just don't do it ever again. So that's my thing.
I will say a gaming company that has done something right for Pride this year is Riot Games.
Really?
League of Legends. I don't want to. I know people are like, oh, League of Legends, but
I'll
League
back
of
you up,
Legends,
Smalzsy.
I play League of Legends, and I'm like, oh, League of Legends. But like,
Yes.
but they did it this year. Like they usually like they're like, okay, here's some cute little Pride icons, but they did it this year. Like they've got a bunch of like cute little icons that you can get. They're like 1 point that you like. They cost like 1 point. They make it like literally
An
accessible to
XP
everyone.
point too.
Like you'll have got
Swear.
1 point that you get for playing like literally a single game. You can get it easy as hell. They've got this year they have an event with 2 of their characters that is also like got some lore story that's coming into it. That's basically like being like the girlies are lovers, which is kind of iconic. So around that, literally every like reward you can get and extra Pride things you can get is based around playing those characters, not beating someone up, but you get like if you play as these characters, you will get these rewards, and that is like really cool. They have even included emotes of these two characters like making a cute little love heart like together, like joining hands and stuff. And then across their other games that Riot's got, like Legends of Runeterra, the card game, they've also got like Pride themed like mascots and stuff that like sit on your little card desk while you're playing. Their mobile, like the Teamfight Tactics game that they've got, that also features a lot of like Pride like effects and stuff. And then their mobile game also has like cute little Pride missions and stuff. And then they also dropped merch. Now the merch is only for the month of Pride. However, 100% of the proceeds from this merch is going to the It Gets Better project. So they really said, hi, let's have all of this, and we're gonna give all of the proceeds away. Also, I will say the merch is kind of cute as shit. It is really cute.
The way that I am rushing to look at it.
I would buy most of this. Like, I think it's really cute. Like this, like
Oh my God.
I haven't seen all of it yet, but like there was like a few tops and like a mug and stuff that looked really cute. But like it feels like they have like actually like gone a little bit more into it. Like they're releasing lore on these characters that were sort of assumed to be together. But it's like they're sort of basically like confirming it. Like they're like, okay, here we go, we're gonna put a story in here, celebrating these two. Like y'all have thought they've been together and y'all kind of ship them, but they are. So like, you know, and like all of these like cool things related to them, like sort of like celebrating that relationship. I don't know, I just thought it was really cute. You know, and it's like, and you don't have to beat up the one by icon to get your prizes. So,
Right.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I was gonna say also, I forgot which company, like which game had it, because I know one of them was like, here's like some of the prize stuff that you could get, and then I think they had like a comment that was like, well, deal with it. Like I do remember one company did say that, but I can't remember who. I thought it was Knockout City was the game that had it.
Yeah.
But, I know, but they have like, what is it? Is it icons or is it like the actual balls?
I think
I don't know.
In game, yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I want to say it's the balls in game. I'm pretty sure.
But yeah, they have like a bunch of the different flags, which is also nice because it's always nice to just not see like 3 of them, maybe.
Or a rainbow.
Or see the wrong one.
It's always the rainbow one, which is fine, but like, come on now. But
The other flags
I
are
think
also
it was
cute.
them.
Hello.
Yeah, and it's all free. They just have like codes for you to just like get them, basically. And then I think it was in their thread that they're just like, oh, y'all mad about it? Oh, well.
I love that.
It's just like, this is what we need. We need people to just keep being like, oh, so you're mad about this? Well, like, there's literally queer people everywhere. Like, what's
Also,
the problem?
Like, the bar is on the ground. Like,
Yeah.
people do any of this stuff. And like still people manage to just like dig under it and go under the bar.
Lil Nas X pole dancing straight to
Right.
literally.
Yeah,
Right.
Exactly.
Screaming.
Listen,
Oh my God.
there's not we're not expecting too much here. We're not. We're also like another thing for me is like, don't announce like a queer character only during Pride. Like just next month, can I get a game announcement in like July or August where it's like our main character is queer and there's no intentional or like marketing. Well, the marketing is probably, if they make a big deal out of it, the marketing is that they're queer and they're appeasing to us. But it's better than to do that during Pride because it's like, and we're also doing cool things for Pride, like having a gay character, and you're like, oh. Okay.
All right.
Love that. Love that for you. Also,
it's all capitalism. Oh,
right.
Sorry, go ahead, Ruby.
No. You can go ahead.
Oh, it's all capitalism. They clearly want our gay money, but to be fair, with capitalism, they want all the straight money too. So it's like at least kind of do it right. At least have a fun time with it. I am weirdly impressed by Riot. I love to poop on them because they're evil, but I guess they have made a lot of really big changes in the structure of their company because things have gotten weirdly good within the past year. Like concerningly, where you look around and you're like, "Am I seeing the same broadcast?" And these are permanent things. It feels very odd. So I never thought I would say it, but I hope other esports and very heavy competitive games follow in Riot's footsteps.
Yeah.
In some
Honestly.
places, not all of them.
Not,
And here's
yeah.
also
Not
all of
in,
them.
in some in the positive footsteps, yeah. Not
Yeah.
the bad ones.
Top
And
10
with a lot of
statements you didn't think you were
companies-
going to say.
Literally. It's important to remember with a lot of companies, and I am curious about it with Riot too, which regions is it available in? Because I
Very
said this
true.
before during
True.
Ruby's sexuality panel, but like one of the most
True.
powerful images that exemplifies like corporate pride is a screenshot of all of Bethesda's Twitter accounts, and like the US, West Europe, and I think the LATAM one all had pride flags, and then everything else was just the regular Bethesda logo.
Yeah.
So I do wonder, are they like making a statement everywhere, or is it just like, the gay money's here, let's try not to get canceled in X region?
Right.
Very curious.
Yeah, because I know
Looking through their
like
store, and it looks available on most of the regions. So
oh, that's good.
Oh.
I was gonna say I know like some, like you said, like a lot of regions. I know especially like China are like if you put anything queer out there that's like explicitly queer, they're just like
It's so
shut
interesting.
it
I hear it's
down.
so up and down. It's hard to be fair.
Yeah, it really
all
is,
of us
kind
are
of.
in the United States or Europe or Australia, and it's very difficult to hear unbiased information about China. So anytime I hear anything, I'm like, I hear very up and down things, and I'm like, what is the truth?
Right. It really just, I guess
Right.
it, yeah, exactly. Because I do hear that too. But I know just like some games, at least one of them that I play, like can't explicitly say that they have like gay characters that are lovers,
Oh,
basically.
interesting.
Yeah, like they're as close to saying it as possible, but I think they just don't. And everybody's just
Yeah.
like, yes, it's there, but I don't know. I feel like you said, it really just depends, but sometimes they do try to like be safer. I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of companies, and then just be like, let's not,
Yeah.
go too hard because we might get silenced and it won't get to like people who would like to,
Mhm.
experience like a story or anything, because, it's getting banned because of some queerness. But anyway.
Right.
Well,
Well.
Well,
Should we talk about E3?
Yes. So
it's not just
E3.
Pride.
Right.
It's E3.
It's
also
also
gamer
E3.
pride.
Yeah.
Gamer pride.
Video games are gay now. We own them
Yep.
because E3 happens during our month. So
Mhm.
Yoink.
every video game is gay now.
Every video game, exactly.
Absolutely. And that's what we're expecting for E3. Thank you everyone for watching. No, just kidding. No, but in a very chaotic way, things are getting announced, and when this year started, not when this year started, but earlier this year when E3 was confirmed, I feel like a lot of people who are very interested in gaming news were probably like, okay, cool, it's gonna be things are only gonna get announced during E3 because that's normal, because E3 is happening. No. Companies were still like, no, we want to do it at a different time, at a different day, because guess what? It's happening virtually. So I guess all of the people who are interested in gaming are just going to have to wait a whole 3 months to get announcements from all of their faves. So we're not going to get into details. You can check that out yourselves as far as like scheduling, because there's a lot of events. There's, Summer of Games, there's E3, there's individual presentations from each publisher and developer, etc. So, and we're going to try our best to react to several of them. So definitely stay tuned for Just Gaming Tingz content on Twitch and YouTube and stuff like that, because we're going to be reacting. And of course, if you miss any of that stuff, we're obviously going to talk about our highlights for each week that the things happen in. But we kind of wanted to talk a little bit about like things that we kind of want to see, or things that we hope to see, and kind of like expectations / predictions / manifestation, I guess. I can say confidently that one of my highlights every E3 is Square Enix. For better or worse, because it's very bittersweet, okay? A part of it is games that are going to get announced, but we're not going to hear anything from it for a while. And for a while sometimes means like 10 years. It can go from, 3 to 10 years for every announcement that they make. But it's just one of those things that, like, growing up with Final Fantasy and like Kingdom Hearts, and just, as much as we talked about them previously and try to hold them accountable for their stuff, they do produce some of my faves these days. So I can't just be like, oh, I can't perceive Square Enix. Like, no, if there's a Final Fantasy announcement, I'm gonna be screaming. So yeah, that's kind of my thing. I hope that the rumor of a new Final Fantasy is true. Like a spin-off could be really cool. We talked about it the other week on the podcast. I think it could be really fun. It seems as though it's gonna be a little bit focused on Life is Strange though, and a little bit of Marvel's Avengers, but they did say that they're gonna premiere a new game, so we'll see what that will be. But I wouldn't mind one last thing that they usually like to do, and just do that. I also love PlayStation's presentations, because usually there's a lot of third-party stuff, which usually Square Enix has a say in it as well. Interestingly, a lot of big announcements from Square Enix do come from the PlayStation presentations. So I'm always here for Square Enix and that. And of course, like indies. I love my indies, so I love seeing those announcements and all that. But yeah, what about y'all? What are you looking forward to? What do y'all want to see?
I am very curious to ask everyone what you think the percent chance that Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 is mentioned at all. Like, they say the words. They don't even have to say anything.
I feel like so? I think they're gonna just say it, and they'll be like, "We are working on it." It's probably gonna be like the trailer, because the Retrograde or whatever it's called comes out like basically that week or later.
Yeah.
Like it comes out this month, so they're probably gonna be like, "And here's a trailer again in case you missed it." And then also, don't worry, Part 2 is probably being worked on.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If they mention it at all, it's gonna be like, it's happening. It's still happening.
Come up at the end of the trailer and be like, Part 2 to be announced. Like,
yes. Right. It really is. They're just gonna be like, we are working very hard, and I'll be like, perfect. So nothing still.
Yeah.
It'll be like what they did with the Breath of the Wild 2 at the last whatever that was. And they were like, hi, I'm here to talk about Breath of the Wild 2. I have nothing about Breath of the Wild 2. Goodbye.
Yeah. More information on that later in the year. Yeah, that sounds. That
I love the most AAA announcement I could imagine.
It'll be like the mix-up of like 16 and 7 Part 2, where they're just gonna be like, yes, we are working on both of them. Now have a good E3, everybody. We'll be like in tears. They're probably gonna talk about like the mobile games again, which is fine. I am very interested in like the whole like 7 mobile game that they're making, because it's like literally all of it. All the spin-offs and everything. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm never gonna have the rush that I felt E3 like 4 years ago when Nier Automata got announced.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine.
And I wept. I was at work weeping. because the music hit me already, and I was like, "There's no way." So I will always chase that high whenever I watch E3. But for the most part, I always feel like E3 is just like the announcements are already like said right before, and so they just kind of regurgitate like the trailers all over the place. So if it's like, oh, here's like the Square Enix one, it always goes to like the PlayStation or Xbox also gets it. And you're just like, I just saw this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think
So,
we're gonna get any
no.
Final Fantasy 16 at all? Any mention of it at all?
I think that'll be the
Absolutely.
same trailer. I really do.
Maybe.
It's still being worked on, don't worry.
Yeah.
Maybe like 10 more seconds of footage.
Yeah, something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Some concept art, and they just leave it.
Unedited.
Yeah.
They will show Unchocobo.
What I'm really excited about and have been excited about for a few years, but we still barely hear anything about it, is the new Dragon Age. I would like to hear at least a little bit more. Please stop showing me the concept art. I am tired.
The logo.
The logo, some voice acting while like music is playing in the background, and I'm just like, awesome. But like, where's the meat and bones? I'm really hoping at least a little bit more, you know?
Yeah.
Give me something to like at least feed me for another 3 years before they like actually show something.
Right.
I mean, you know, waiting for games. I put my clown nose on, ready for more Bayonetta 3 news.
Oh.
We all sit in the Bayonetta
Yeah,
3.
you just know what's not happening, but you still put on your clown makeup, you put on the dress, you put on the clown shoes, you get in your little clown car, you drive down to the local cinema to watch the announcement trailer, and you still get nothing.
Yeah.
And then we just
Makeup.
sadly, yeah, we take off the wig and we're just like, oh,
Well,
again.
another
It's
year.
Just another year.
I just put my hand
Yeah.
on Smalzsy's shoulder, like, is Metroid Prime 4 in the room with us right now?
We are in the circle of just Nintendo
Yeah.
when we remember your other games.
We're just not getting anything, are we? Like,
Mhm.
I
Well, it's-
really would love to see like Breath of the Wild stuff, of course, obviously, but I think I would also like to hear something about like Xenoblade.
Oh, that's a good one.
Like, I really like Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I haven't played any of the others, but I really like Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And I know that they were like they'd been hiring a few years ago for like something, but I would maybe like to hear if they're working on something. I mean, I'm not expecting much, but like maybe just an announcement or something about it. That would be cute. But yes, honestly, I'm just sitting on my Breath of the Wild 2, and I'm waiting for my Bayonetta 3. But you know, I will I'll upload a selfie in my clown wig the second Nintendo's segment ends at E3, and
Right.
you won't even have
You
to
in the
look
clown
up.
wig,
You'll
like-
just see it. You'll just see it.
The single
You see
one
the image,
tier.
you're like, oh, that's yeah, just a single tear, just like running the makeup like down my face. Yeah.
The sad thing is I always forget these announcements like are like only maybe like 40 minutes to like an hour, besides like the PC gamer one, which is like extremely long. But like I don't know, because I feel like Nintendo, whenever they do announcements, it's like here's like 2 seconds of like a couple things, and then here's like a mix mash of like other things that are coming out, and then let's spend like 30 minutes on like one game, which is not bad, but it is kind of like I would like to
The
see
pacing.
the pacing. Can we get like the equal pacing instead? I feel like they're probably gonna definitely talk about maybe some Splatoon 3, maybe.
Maybe. A little update.
So yeah, I feel like definitely Breath of the Wild 2 and Splatoon are gonna be like maybe those big highlights, but you know, I still really hope that they just like burst into my house, slap me around, basically steal my lunch money. And then just be like, and here's actually something that you'll be surprised about. Billy
Right.
Hatcher, the Golden Egg remake.
Honestly, if that happens, you'll be the first person I think of immediately.
Oh my
Give me
god.
the Ape Escape open world
Oh
survival
my
RPG.
God, I would literally die if there's
Breath of the
any
Ape
mention. There's like 3 games that would absolutely just be like the murder of me. It's any Ape Escape, an announcement, Billy Hatcher, and Skies of Arcadia remake. If you give me any of those, it's on.
Right. More Sonic. Like, we barely got any in the anniversary stream. And I mean,
10
they
seconds.
did announce a port of Colors, which is Pride, really. But like they gave us crumbs for the new one. We don't even know if it's a new one, if it's a remake, if it's a reboot, what it is. But I would love more information about that. I think that would be really nice to hear. I don't know where they would put it. I don't know if it would be in the Microsoft one, if it would be in the Nintendo one, or Sony, or what have you, but I want it. I'm always here for Sonic. I'm always here for drama.
Maybe
Space Channel
try.
5, give it to me.
Not the VR one, please. An actual one.
Yeah, just give us a non-VR one with special appearance and cameo from Hatsune Miku, please.
Oh, that would be fierce.
Please.
She's in the VR one, I think. So, hey.
What?
I want Sailor Moon, Sailor Moon game. I talk about it all the time. Give it to me. We always get all the
podcast.
straight agenda games, anime adaptations. Give me Sailor Moon. I'm waiting.
Honestly, where is it? Is there any show that y'all are looking the most forward to?
Ooh. I've already
I-
said mine, so, you know.
I have said before, but I always really like the Xbox showcase because anything can happen, and that's what I like. Like, I'm not even particularly excited about big announcements, but I go into the Xbox showcase and they're like, blah blah blah. Here's our new console for like 15 minutes, and then they go, and here's the trailers, and then all the trailers just play back to back for like an hour straight. And I'm like, yes, this is what I want. Let's go. And it's always a bunch of new stuff. I'm also really hoping that in the Xbox showcase, Psychonauts 2, Tunic, and A Weird West all get hard announce dates, or at least like a month that they're going to be released in, because I really want to play those.
I also am always excited for Xbox. Like, I don't even have one, but I always love them because they know how to kind of do the
Yeah.
announcements, like you said. But I
And
always
there's
love
stuff
also
on
hearing.
PC.
Yeah, exactly. So I know like most of the time it's gonna be like something I can play. But I do get sad because then I have to always hear world premiere play like 40 times. I'm just like, all right.
I've
Yeah.
looped back around to where it gets me kind of hype now.
Yeah.
Take a shot every time. Oh no.
Oh,
No, don't die.
no.
Please don't do that.
A shot
Don't
of
do that,
water.
please.
Do not
Hydrate.
condone.
I do get kind of
Oh, go
excited for. Oh, sorry. I get kind of excited for Devolver Digital, not for their games, but literally because their announcements are always so wild, and it just keeps continuing the storyline. And I'm just like,
skit.
it's just a good skit, so it's always a fun time there, honestly.
Yeah. My thing is like my least favorite aspect about E3 is having to go on Twitter or anything official to confirm whether or not an announcement is exclusive to that platform or not, because they're always very vague about it. Like,
Yeah.
we talked about like Xbox, and obviously I mentioned Sony, and they're very vague about whether or not the game is exclusive, whether it's exclusive, like a console exclusive, and it's still gonna be on PC. Like, it's always a journey, like deciphering that. So I can't even imagine like gaming journalists being like having to type those articles like, oh, let me confirm because I don't know. So it's always a moment, but I do love like a moment where it's like, announcement back to back, and you're just kind of like, especially with like big ones like Sony and Microsoft, you really don't know like when they're gonna pull out a random third party, and you're like, oh, hi. So those are always like my faves for sure. Do we think there's gonna be a Nintendo Pro announcement? Because that's been rumored. She's been talked about.
Potentially.
Right.
It's
Especially if
been
they announce new
rumored.
dates, right? Like for games, there's a potential to be like, and that game is going to be a pro exclusive, and we're all going to be like, fuck.
Oh no,
Oh,
I hope
no.
not.
Waiting for
They-
that. Yeah, gosh. I thought that
They,
they
like,
might
give
do
us a
that
better
at the
trailer.
direct. Mm.
They give us a better trailer for Legends Arceus, and it's exclusive to Switch Pro.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild 2
If they
exclusive
put
to
that
Switch Pro.
if they put that Switch Pro announcement out and they're like, "Hi, you get 3PS Chingling from Legends Arceus," like, have you seen that GIF of the one Pokemon moving at like 3 frames, and they're like, "This is only Switch Pro." No, Gora.
I
Like,
do wonder, yeah, because
we'll
the
see.
Switch Pro, like, I feel like they've railed so hard. Nintendo has been so hard about saying there's not going to be a Switch Pro. There's not going to be a Switch Pro. There's not going to be a better version of the Switch, like over and over and over again, to where I'm like, it would feel kind of scummy if they're like, no, don't worry, there's not going to be a Switch Pro. Just buy the regular Switch. Don't pay no attention to what's behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I kind of do wonder if it's a misunderstanding about leaks, and it's not a Switch Pro like the PS4 Pro, but it's more like the PlayStation Slim, where it is an updated hardware version of it. So it's like, it's not the Switch Pro, but it's taking what they've learned over the years about like what doesn't work on that thing, because my Switch crashed like. But anyways, so I do wonder, like, is it gonna be? I think there's gonna be something about a new Switch,
Yeah.
but I don't know
Maybe.
exactly what it's going to entail.
That makes sense.
I
Yeah.
hope it doesn't take like 30 minutes of their 40 minutes, though. That's all I ask.
The
Yeah.
thing is, it might, because they said that they're gonna have a 40-minute presentation and then like a 3 or 4 hour showcase afterwards
Treehouse,
for
yeah, the
gameplay.
treehouse.
So they might just be like, "Hi, here's a game, 2 minutes. We're gonna have an hour of it later. Hi, another game,
Yeah.
2 minutes, an hour later." And so like they might.
Right. Like their
Yeah.
treehouse is definitely where they showcase a lot that they barely talked about too, I
Yeah.
feel is always the time for them. So I'm sure it's gonna be like the little quick montage that they always like to do where they're just like, and here's a bunch of other games that are coming out this year, and it's like and you're like, ah
Yeah.
like barely taking it all in because it's all moving so fast, and then it'll just be like, let me watch the, I guess, treehouse so I can finally actually sit down and watch what the game is, I guess.
Yeah. I do like those though, because I prefer that over them spending 30 minutes on a game that I don't know if I care about. I would rather them like
Yeah.
spend like maybe 10 minutes at most and then be like, we're gonna have an in-depth look at it with a developer and you're gonna get all of the answers, like all of your questions answered. And I would rather that, to be honest.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love that. Mm.
I just
I'm,
don't want. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I just hope like a lot of these companies just like, not to say don't waste their time, but in a way, don't waste my time with just like the long announcements. Like we could talk about the details later. Okay, let's just get them over with.
Mm.
Just give us what we want.
Speaking of wasting time, Xbox, put your car game presentation at the start, so like I can get my snacks and prepare. Then I don't want to like have that midway through when I'm seeing other the cool stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we just
Yeah.
souped up this car. You're like,
Mhm.
awesome. 30
Bathroom
minutes
break.
later.
Yeah. Also, don't give us 25 minutes of car game. I don't want it. Like,
Yeah.
you are gonna show me just someone zooming around a track like you do every other year. Like, stop it. Enough. Like, I don't
I
want
definitely,
it.
yeah.
But I'm excited for the Wholesome Direct. I'm
Yeah.
like,
I just
I thought
yes.
this sounded so cute to me. I was like, okay, this is gonna be adorable. Like 75 games, ma'am. Like, hello. Like, I'm just gonna be like sitting there going, all right, just writing them down on like this never-ending piece of paper. Like, all of them that I'm gonna want because it just seems like it's gonna be such a cute little concept. So I'm definitely turning up for that one because I cannot just like imagine like the amount of just cute shit we're gonna see. It's just gonna be great. Yeah. It's gonna be
Right.
great, you know?
Like a very niche,
Yeah.
like subgenre that we deserve.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Honestly.
Very much love that.
Any final predictions, desires, wish lists, any of the sort that we would like
Yeah.
from E3?
So one more thing. I can't wait for another Just Dance to get announced and me to watch people dance around. And then I'm gonna miss not having the live audience there to be like
yeah.
zooming in on people who are just clearly sitting there just like what is going on for like the 30th time.
They're so
But
boring.
I live for it. I live for like their little mascots coming out and dancing around and like.
Oh no, I mean the audience is boring. I'm like, you guys have been sitting here talking about games you don't even care about for like 6 hours. Can you at least like get into it? Come on.
Right? They're like trying to hype everybody all up and like the audience is always just sitting there like, what is going on? I don't have the time for this. Show me my 2K31. I don't know. The sports.
Right.
Oh my
A
god.
cute
Show me
concept
the
would
car.
be Just Dance that works at DMCA. That'd be a cute idea. How about that
Oh
one?
yeah.
How about that?
The audio is just distorted.
What is the Twitch channel?
It's like those sped up YouTube videos, like
God.
with pitched up and like just awful. I would buy that Just Dance.
Oh my god. That would be kind of iconic.
DMCA free.
Yeah. I love it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am excited for the Wholesome Direct. I'm excited to see just so many more games that I want to play than I will have time to play.
More games to add to the backlog.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm hoping that there's more news about the Diamond and Pearl remakes. I want to see like maybe more gameplay footage, maybe like a concrete release date. Give me something. They're coming out this year. Like I would like something, please.
Something.
I would like to see it.
That's my
Please.
wish. That's my hope and my dream.
Yeah.
What about the rest of y'all?
The wild thing is like we're talking about E3, but literally like end of August, there's another thing. There's Gamescom. So like more announcements. So it's like barely as we're recovering from E3, there's gonna be more stuff. So it's gonna be a weird thing of like companies are probably gonna save out on some things to put over there. So I wonder how they're gonna make those decisions. But yeah, do we want to move on to what we're playing, or do we need? Do we want to have any predictions?
Any final thoughts?
Yeah. All right, we can go. We can go with Spin and then Smalzsy and then up the line.
Okay. Yeah. I have been playing so much Fall Guys.
Same.
I accidentally took a week off because I was doing charity fundraisers the last week of May and I just got completely worn out and I was just like not prepared for how tired I was going to be. So my comfort game lately has just been Fall Guys and I'm almost at level 50 already.
Love that. The new season is just so good.
Yeah, I love all the stuff for the new season and like the new outfits are so good. I really like the new levels. Like there hasn't been a new level where I'm just like, oh, this is bullshit. Like there were so many of those in season 2 that like I fell off the game for so long.
Yeah.
But yeah, aside from that, I also was like, you know what I'm gonna do for like the first time in like 6 months? I'm gonna log into Genshin Impact. And so I did that.
How was that?
I have 2 Genshin accounts because I fucked up the first one. So I logged into both of my Genshin accounts. And the first one is still fucked up.
Do you want to explain for the people how you fucked it up?
Yeah, I would like to know.
So the story is, on the first account, I raised my world level too high before ascending my characters. So now
Oh,
all the
no.
characters are stuck at level 40, and the materials that I need to ascend them come from bosses that are like level 50.
Mhm.
So yeah, I tearfully abandoned that account and made another account, which is still like it's okay, but it didn't have my girl Beta on it, and I love her.
Oh
Um,
no.
but literally first thing when I booted back up that second account, I had some wishes. I did some wishing, and I got her immediately.
Oh, we love to winning.
We love that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
When you succeed at
Iconic.
gacha.
Oh my god. Could never be me.
Same.
You feel like you've beaten the system when you get what you want straight away, and you're just like, yes! I didn't fall into your trap this time.
Not this time.
I look the other way.
Not now.
don't
Now I
don't call
only
me out
have
right now.
one pension account, and it's the second one. Yeah, I haven't logged back in since, but I might.
Well-
Who knows? I'll keep y'all updated.
The fun thing was being in voice chat with Spin as he was experiencing this, and then he logged in, and then like 10 minutes later he was like, yeah, I remember why I left this game. I remember why it's been so long. I get it.
I
Oh,
remember
God.
now.
Yeah.
Hey,
What about you,
Smalzsy, what have you
Smalzsy?
been playing?
What was the question?
What you're playing?
Oh, what am I playing? Sorry.
I'll forgive you. It's like 5 a.m. It's fine.
It is 5:30 in the morning, so.
Right.
Oh my god, it's so
yeah.
bright behind you.
I know. The sun works differently here.
That Airbnb has great large
Yeah.
windows. They let in so much
Yeah.
natural light.
I can't get any sleep because it's just daylight all
It's like
through the
Antarctica.
night. Yeah. The sun never sets.
And the waves
pe-
never
the
move,
people seeing
apparently.
the people seeing this thinking it's like a real background. And
I
then
know.
Saying 5:30 in the morning are just like, what?
They're the same people thinking you actually went to clown college.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. People lie on the. Sometimes people lie on the internet.
Oh my god, people lie?
I thought that was illegal.
Yeah.
It's illegal.
No, it's true. I've been playing. I sound like a broken record every time I'm on a podcast. I've been playing Final Fantasy 14. I just cannot get rid of that game. It is just like, it is like just like a weird mole on my back that I just can't get rid of, and it's just there, and I just like, I love it. It's like that, just like part of me that will never.
What a great way of hyping up the game, honestly. Just, you're selling it to us so well.
They just replaced
Listen,
whole
okay.
like so proud Final Fantasy 14, play up to level 60 in the claimed expansion Heavensward, and replace it with it's like that weird mole on your back that you can't get rid of.
Get that
You
checked
just
out.
edit the
Okay.
meme.
Not Molesy.
Molesy, not this.
Anyway, it's just like I cannot stop. Basically, I was trying to say I can't put the game down. Okay, that's a better description. But I love the game. I spend so much time on the game. It's just like one of the best gaming experiences I've ever had. Like truly, like the story, the experience, just like everything, is just so fantastic about that game. I really, truly just cannot put it down. I've put an unhealthy amount of hours into it. So I've been playing that. I've been playing a lot of Fortnite. Love me some Fortnite.
Yes.
Playing it with the Gorleys is a lot of fun. I really enjoy just clowning around on Fortnite. And it's just so much fun. It's just so much fun with people. And it's It's definitely like Fortnite has changed a lot since like I started playing it like when it was first released. Like it just yeah, it feels a lot more fun now. Well, you know, there's still some sweaty people on there, but like,
Yeah.
you know, when you play with friends as well, it just feels so much more enjoyable. Like the experience is a lot more fun as well. So
Mhm.
I do enjoy clowning around on that. So that's pretty much all I've been playing. I did try Biomutant, that game
Ooh.
that came out. I don't know if I've finished the tutorial yet. It's very unclear. There is a lot about that game that is just off. Like, there's a
Uh-huh.
lot, like, the narrator does not stop talking ever. Like, there is a slider to turn down the narrator talking because they just talk that much.
Uh-huh.
And, like, yeah, there's no other voices apart from this narrator. So then, like, they're just talking randomly while you're, like, in the wild, giving you tips. Like, what was that fairy? Yeah, that fairy. That one.
Navi?
Navi?
Yeah, Navi. It's very that, but just like this, like a monotone, like voice, just like, oh, there's a signpost over there. Perhaps you should go look at it. And it's like,
I
I will just
okay,
add, I would love to have a slider where people could turn off my narration.
exactly.
I
I was like, is this what people do with my streams? Like, they just like,
Twitch
like
adds
no.
like a volume slider for our mic.
Oh god.
Yeah, but it's an interest. I think if I sit with it, I might like it a little bit more. But like just early on, it's a very rough experience to start with. Like I've seen later parts of the game and other people playing it, and those parts look really enjoyable. But it's a very, very, very bushy start. Like it's just yeah, it's not the smoothest track to go
I'm
down.
sorry,
But
bushy is such a way of saying it.
I
I love it.
I like
I love
it.
Aussie
And
slang. I
I live
love
for
I'm
it.
yeah.
it's
But I'm just like I'm dying. I'm like that's such a way of describing it. I'm obsessed. I've also been playing Fall Guys and uh Fortnite, turns out. I am in those lobbies. I am in those group chats. It's really fun to just like um I'm usually a single player person, and I feel like I kind of reserve that a little bit for streaming. Um, but like it's fun like when I'm not streaming. First of all, there's no guilt in playing a game that's online because people don't really. Who cares if I'm like there's no story to be missed really, but also you get to hang out with people. And also you get to just hang out with other streamers and talk about non-streaming related things and just have fun together and just have a good time and not think about content, not think about anything. And it's just a really it's been really fun these days. I feel like it's almost like I feel like a lot of us almost had this like second discovery of like online games are a thing. We should maybe play them and kind of take them back instead of being like, oh, Fortnite is for the sweaty straights or oh, all these games that are like, oh, I don't know about that. And us kind of playing it and realizing that, oh, these games are kind of fun. Like we should have been playing them and just make our own lobbies with people that we appreciate. Turns out, that's a better experience. But yeah, I've been playing those. I've also been playing Space Channel 5, specifically Part 2. And all I have to say is up, chew, chew. No, just kidding. No, that game, I love it so much. I'm doing a collaboration with Sega for their Sega Pride fundraising for Mind Out, which is a mental health organization in the UK. More details on that if on my streams whenever I do more of that fundraising. But I'm playing Space Channel 5 because queer rights, and the game is so iconic in so many ways. I can't stress it enough. It's like the choreography, the outfits, even the enemies. You're like they're kind of rotted, but they're kind of serving at the same time. The only thing for me is that it's difficult, really, really difficult. There's no difficulty settings at all, so you just have to deal with the drama. And the game is also very unforgiving. So like sometimes you get through a whole section, you're like, oh, that's a whole section, that means it's a checkpoint. No, you have to play it from the beginning of the previous section if you mess up the end part, which I do often because I get stressed and anxious and I mess up the last possible note of the fucking sequence and I have to redo it from the beginning. I'm not pressed about that at all. But it's just so much fun. And then fucking Michael Jackson comes out of nowhere and you're like, Space Michael.
Space Michael.
Michael literally voiced by Michael Jackson, which is the wildest thing to think
and
of.
they have like a whole level like dedicated to like a Michael Jackson inspired song that an inspired dance, and it's just it's so iconic. I can't get mad at the game when I flop because I'm just like, this is just so iconic. I can't be mad right now. This is great. I like to joke about that. I'm like, oh, I didn't flop. I just wanted y'all to see that again because it was so good. But yeah, what about you, Pants? What have you been playing and enjoying these days?
Oh, absolutely. I'm gonna bring my mic a little closer so everybody can hear me really quick. I have absolutely still been playing IDV. I'm trying to get everybody into it. It is a free game. It's like I got Ruby into it. I got Dex into it. I'm hoping to get Spin into it.
Yes.
It is a free game that's just like DBD, so that asymmetrical survival horror game, but better with actual representation, like I said kind of earlier, even though they have to kind of like wink wonk at like the gay representation, but still like they have a lot of representation in it and it's amazing. So always obsessed. They're doing a Death Note collab, and unlike just spending the in-game currency, maybe somebody did send a little money over so they can get mostly all the skins. I'm still hoping for one of them, so I looked the other way. So I'm still playing that. So playing some Fortnite, when I peep in, see people playing it, I'm like, let me in.
Yeah. Eyes emoji. And I'm like, yeah, hop in, girl.
Yeah. Literally last night I was like, eyes emoji, y'all playing Fortnite? I've been playing that. I was just playing a visual novel called Wicked Willow last night. And it is a queer witch visual novel, which a queer witch. I'm not a visual novelist, but to say I am a queer witch visual novel.
You might as well be.
I am the queer witch visual novel also.
You're the dateable Beppis holder.
Exactly. That's why I'm always at the bottom. I need to put my little like chat box when I fix my overlays. Maybe that should be at the bottom instead, so it just looks like
you're the character.
Exactly.
Love that.
It is very beautiful. It also has like a very diverse cast, and also like a lot of the people who are working on it are very like come from different backgrounds as well, which is really nice. The creator like sent me the code and everything, and when I got the email, I was like, absolutely, this is exactly for me. And just had like a friend join me, and like most of the time we were screaming a lot because everybody's iconic in it anyway. Maybe there's a succubi, none. I live for her anyway. And it was a great time. It was a very great time. And I just love being a queer witch anyway. That's the real big point.
I love that for you.
Those are the main things. I need to play World's End Club, which is literally sitting right in front of me because my Switch is also right in front of me. I need to play that. It's like Danganronpa, I guess. I think it's by the creators, but it's like cute. I mean, it was already cute anyway, but like it's like cute and PG, I think, or T-rated anyway. And I want to play Miitopia, but that's a want to play. I'm not playing it. I'm playing the demo just so I can make my characters. What are you up to, Lotus? What are you playing?
I played a few different things this week. The first thing I did was for the peer-to-peer, Peer-to Pride Marathon, raising money for Trans Lifeline. I played the Celeste Spring Collab 2020, which is a fan-made, like giant mod pack of like 100 different new levels and all these new songs. And I thought that beginner meant beginner, but it clearly didn't because that game kicked my ass like repeatedly. But it was really cool to see all the fan-made stuff. It's really intricate and really well made. And if you like Celeste or if you want some really hard 2D platformer content, you should definitely download it. I'll be playing more of it after I warm up more because geez.
Yeah.
I also finally have reclaimed my throne in a game called Mixolumia, which is an awesome kind of arcadey puzzle game made by amazing non-binary developer Dave Makes. It's very similar to like Tetris, but it has gravity and it's more about color matching like Bejeweled instead of just going across the lines like Tetris. It has custom color packs, including, hey, speaking of doing things for Pride, Mixolumia did not come out in June, and from start to finish, it has always had a bunch of different Pride color palettes, and you can make custom color palettes. So, like, when I play, I have, like, the POC lesbian Pride flag that I could play with, and it's really cool, and all this custom music and everything. But I was literally like almost late to my stream yesterday because I said I'll play a quick game, and then 35 minutes later, I am now number 7 on the endless leaderboard.
Ooh,
just saying, I'm back. I am ahead of Dave, the developer, which I will never stop holding over now.
This is a call-out post for Dave.
No, it's not a call-out. I love Dave. Look, they have to work harder to make sure the game works when we all break it, so we can give them the time off. But
They're kind of busy, huh?
But it's so fun. I'm obsessed. And then the last thing I played, the most recent thing, is a game called Pocket Watch by Sock Pop Collective. You've probably seen their games before because they're a little group that makes like a different game every month for Patreon. And then, you know, if it's really well received or if they're like really into it, they'll make a longer version. So Pocket Watch is like you're on an island and a volcano is going to explode at the end of the day. So you get a pocket watch and it ends up as this Groundhog Day sort of thing where because of the pocket watch, you keep your items, right? So it's like you need an invitation to get into a club and you need to get into the club to talk to a certain guy. So you have to break into somebody's house, like dressed up as a housekeeper and steal their invitation. And then the next day you can get in there on time. And it's just that, but like, it just goes and goes and goes, very Majora's Mask, but it's more about these individual little personal puzzles. I didn't even finish it. I played it for like over 3 hours and I hadn't finished it. I don't know if I'm just not smart at the puzzles, but it looks like there's a lot to do and a lot more collectibles. So yeah, Pocket Watch is really good and I definitely recommend it. It's like $3, which what? But definitely check that out if that sounds interesting to y'all.
It looks cute.
It's so cute. You're this tiny little duck, but you're a duck that can't fly, and you're bad at swimming. I don't know why, but you're on this little island, and there's like these frogs, and there's like a little red parrot bird who's a pirate, and like these little fishy guys. It's really cute and really like complex for something that you look at it and you think like, oh, that looks pretty small, like something I would play on the bus or whatever. But no, it's like this huge thing. It's very, very good.
Oh,
I also forgot to add one game that I was playing that I literally finished like yesterday or 2 days ago. I finished RE8. I finished Village.
How did
and
you
I
like
have to play it again. I loved it. I need to play it again with a lot of mods so I could have everybody. Oh, you know.
Oh, you know.
Everybody's gonna be dressing. Absolutely. Maybe I need the Chris sailor suit mod. Maybe I need Lady D in a pantsuit. Maybe this is what I need in my life.
For research.
Is there like one that makes her Shrek yet? Because I love
You
that running
know.
gag in games is if there's ever like a big monster, someone always turns it into Shrek.
Shrek. I don't
So I
think so,
really-
not yet. There's all the Barneys ones.
Okay, close
And
enough. I'll take it.
they always have the Thomas the Tank Engine
Yeah.
one, so instead, which normally becomes like the whole person is the Thomas the Tank Engine, instead for Lady D, it's just her face. It's just the face and the whole body and everything else is fine, so it still has the hair and the hat and there's the big body, but it's just the face.
Oh no.
Thomas the Tank Engine. And I feel like I just have to play it like that now. It was a very good time. The pacing.
It's like
It's
the propeller
something.
head boss, but with Thomas the Tank Engine. And like,
I would love that, honestly.
want that too. That's just iconic.
Oh, I love
Mhm.
modders.
Right? Modders are the best. Thank you for our lives.
Mhm.
Mhm.
It's like awakens a very specific fetish in someone.
Do not call
Cut the cameras.
out.
I have to
Uh,
leave this BMB right now.
oh my god, look at the time.
Oh my
So you'd be like,
God.
well, let me tell you about some of my mods, you know? No, I'm kidding.
Oh my god.
Well,
We find your streams and all your
Well.
themes. Tell us.
yeah, let's get out of here by talking about
We gotta
ourselves
go.
once more.
Like, go.
Anything
We're
that we're
going
working
backwards.
on, all of the links that people can find you at. So let's do down the line this time, starting with Lotus.
I was like, which line?
I
Okay,
know, right? Let me clarify.
I just go by Lotus, but you can find me at Lotus Loves Lotus on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Patreon. Twitch is where I do the most stuff, and then Twitter is for messing around. Everything else pretty self-explanatory. I have fearfully started a challenge on Patreon, or a goal rather, where if I hit 20 patrons, I will play a Dark Souls game for the first time. I have never played anything by FromSoft before, so
Good
I'm
luck.
like excited, but also afeared. So there's that going on. Primarily going along with that, I'm a variety streamer. So Twitch #1, Patreon #2. Everything else is supplementary. So that's me. Thank
Love
you.
that.
Iconic behavior. Pants.
Iconic. Oh, yes. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, mostly everywhere as Pants Trebian. And yes, that is an Ape Escape reference. That's why we were talking about it earlier. But you can find me all over
I
the
realize.
place.
Yeah, I realize.
Should have played more Ape Escape.
Realize those real lies. No. And I'm a variety streamer. I do sometimes art on my stream. We have a good time on Monday. I forget what day that is. I check really quick. Anyway, this coming Monday on the 7th at 8 p.m. Eastern, I am doing a cosplay panel stream. So there's going to be myself and 3 other cosplayers in cosplay, so I will not be a VTuber that day.
Ooh.
But we're gonna just be talking about, you know, being queer, cosplay, and like what games we're into right now and excited about. So come on in for that. And I don't know what else to say. I'm just chaotic.
And we love the chaos.
Yes.
If you know anyone couldn't tell from the stream or any of our previous episodes, you know, we kind of love the chaos.
We love chaos.
Mhm.
Yeah, you can find more chaotic queerness on my channel as well. Project Ruby everywhere except Instagram and TikTok, which is the Project Ruby. I also make content on Ko-Fi. I have monthly videos that I upload over there. And I'm also doing charity stuff this month, so definitely stay tuned. I'm going to be doing another campaign very, very soon. And I'm also doing weekly panels. So last week we did a panel on sexuality, and this upcoming week we're doing a panel on gender identity. So stay tuned for more details on my socials. Clearly, as a non-binary individual, I have a lot to say, but trust me, I'm going to have other people who have a lot to say about the topic as well. So stay tuned. And that's all. A lot of queer chaos and pride shenanigans. What about you, Smalzsy?
Hi. I'm Smalzsy.
Hello.
I create content here on Twitch. I'm a resident Australian clown. Um, I do a variety of things, including um, wow, the way I've just gone blank. I'm like,
I
hi,
thought you were
talk about
saying WoW
me.
as in the game. I was like, oh, do
Oh
you?
no!
Oh wow.
Wow. I'm heard
Suddenly
that
just
you
forget
would.
everything you've
I
ever
heard
done.
that you would link that game with me, but
You play League of Legends. Let's not.
okay.
Let's
So
not say you have
well,
standards all of a sudden. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
you're right. You know what? I couldn't.
I'm kidding.
After admitting to being a League player, I can't talk about anything.
I'm kidding.
No, it's right. Anyway, I play a variety of different games. At the moment, I'm playing the Paper Mario and the Origami King, which has been a lot of fun. It's my first Paper Mario experience. I am voicing all of the characters. If you can actually
Yes.
call it that, it's just a really awful mix of noises that I do for the characters. My Toad voice has been like into Marge Simpson. Um,
Love that. Love that.
so
Pretty
you
iconic.
know, if you ever thought, what if Marge Simpson was in Paper Mario? I got the answer for you.
And who among us hasn't wondered that?
Truly.
No, I think it's a daily question that people ask. Yeah. I've been doing. I just started a Smalls lock. So if you are familiar with Pokemon challenge runs, there is a version called a Nuzlocke where you can only if a Pokemon dies, you have to get rid of it, and you can only catch one Pokemon per area. So it's like a challenge run. I decided to up the difficulty and make it a little bit more interesting and personalized. So I created a Smalzlocke where I can only catch and use Pokemon that are my height or shorter. So it's a short only challenge. Um, so it's just me and a bunch of short icons
I
running
love
through.
that.
Yeah, so if you're 3'5" or below, you can ride in this clown car. If not, I'm sorry, this ride is you are too tall for this ride. But yeah, so that's really fun. It's really cute. We had our first death. Rest
Oh.
in peace, Coochie Cycle. That was a
Gucci cycle.
Excuse me,
Coochie
Coochie Cycle.
I was surprised that
Iconic.
Nintendo allowed me to enter the word coochie in
Oh yeah, we forced
in
a
their
friend of mine
Pokemon
to name his
game.
Indeedee Piss Monster. So apparently the names. It's because when you go online, their names are just the Pokemon names, so you can call them, I think, literally anything.
Mm.
Also, I
Oh
do
yeah.
have a question.
That is
When
a
I was
very terrifying thing to know.
Yeah, me playing XY, right? XY is a recent one. I don't know. Whatever the recent one was, and naming my starter Pokemon Coochie and every every baby Coochie Jr.
I.
Coochie the Third.
Coochie the third.
But I do have a question, Smalzsy. So you said they all have to be your height or under. Does that mean you can't evolve them?
So I can't evolve them if they become taller than me. No. It's just babies and me. So it's a very interesting. It's very interesting to see like the heights of Pokemon, and I'm like, oh, okay. So they're a short icon too. Love that. Like it's very very interesting. We haven't even got to the first gym yet because this game, Pokemon Sword takes a lot to get into the start of. But I am definitely enjoying how it's going so far. And yeah, we've got a fun challenge ahead of us.
Oh, that sounds really fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Oh, also I open Pokemon cards because I'm obsessed with them, and I do that like every week. And so if you like Pokemon cards, and all that jazz, and seeing people freak out over shiny pieces of cardboard, I'm your dwarf.
Love that.
Love
Yeah.
that. Absolutely.
What about you, Speed?
Yeah, definitely a moment of silence for Coochie Cycle. R.I.P. Coochie Cycle.
For sure, yeah.
Poor Coochie Cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like the funnier thing about like doing Nuzlocks is like the chaotic names and then like having a moment of like, oh my god, rest in peace, Cummies 0708, and you're like, You know what I mean? You're just like, oh wow, like having this like mournful moment, and your character just has the most cursed name ever created, and you're like, wow, oh my god.
You're
I
sitting
can't
there like
believe
you've
we
like
lost
just
two
lost
people.
like you've lost like your favorite child, and like the screen is just like Coochie Cycle has fainted. And it's just, like, you're like heartbroken on screen, and then just like yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi, I'm Clown. If you enjoy clownery,
We do love
come on
clownery.
over to twitch.tv/spinblend, where I stream 2 to 3 times a week. Sometimes I'm an anime drag queen. We solve mysteries.
Love that.
But I also make soap, and I just launched 2 new soaps. I have the key lime pie bar and the orange creamsicle bar, and those are in my shop. My shop, Spin Soap Cafe,
Love that.
and they're available now.
Yes. Available now.
Available
Unlike
now.
any E3 announcements where it's like coming in 7 years.
Coming 2025.
Literally. We're laughing now,
It's
but
gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
cut to a week from now, first conference happens. Here we are, 2025.
Honestly, the worst.
Oh my goodness. Y'all, thank you so much for
Very
watching and
bad.
listening. We adore y'all, and thank you for keeping up with our clownery and chaos. We appreciate all of that. Again, we're live every Saturday on Twitch, and the podcast gets uploaded later, TM, on YouTube and Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. You name it. It's available at some point. Now, this sounds more like an E3 announcement. At some point, it will be out. But yeah, we will be back occasionally for E3 stuff. We will also be doing our podcast every week, so stay tuned. We love you. Have a good week and stay safe. Bye.
Bye.